What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah, and you're watching this video on Sunday, November 30th, 2025 at 10:50 a.m. MST. And this whole last week, I have continued thinking about the element of checking my videos in the future and whether or not I want to change them and really pressing into that. And this week, Garrett is my extra and I am the ordinary. Garrett's insights from his video have stuck with me all week long. That in his video that he says those people that are still growing leaps and bounds are following the trends, that those who are growing slower though, that are kind of plateaued out, are the ones that are staying true to themselves and producing what fulfills them, what makes them joyful. And that's been such an encouragement to me as I've pressed into thinking about the future and these videos and being a content creator. I don't know for all of my content creators out there, all of my creatives, if you think back to the beginning of when you first started creating, that there was this compelling urge in you to either write a story or to draw a picture or to make a video or to sing a song, but that as an immature creator, that as you started out in your venture, that there was so much excitement, there was so much joy in the process of finally doing it, like having all of those insecurities and those thoughts, like what will people think of my art, what will think people of my expression, but eventually saying it's more painful to keep the creative expression on the inside than to just get it out there. I don't know about you, but there's this slow drift though that happens where you merge from a content creator to a discontent creator, that you start looking at all of the numbers, that you start looking at the views, you start looking at whether or not you're hitting the trending list or not, which I never have. Don't worry, right now all of my views are no chance of hitting the trending list, but that there's those things, those markers that you begin to look to as a content creator, and especially in this context of social media and YouTube video production, and it starts eating away at your excitement, at your confidence, and at your vision. As I've thought forward to these videos, and there's that balance of my mind and my emotions and finding that clear way forward, I've actually landed in a place where looking forward to these videos, it's a blessing that I can't change these videos. As of this point, I've been making videos now for 5 years, 9 months, and 16 days. And depending on where you're at in the video, 53 minutes, 30 seconds. That's a little bit of time. And during this point in a lot of other creators' journeys, that I start hearing these stories about how the pressure to perform and to keep getting those clicks and keep getting those views and keep getting the ad spend starts eating into the freedom that they have to create the things that make them happy. So many people that I hear of that start out making what makes them happy. They shoot the pictures that they like looking at on the back of their camera. They make the videos that they like to watch. And as they authentically begin to post all of that content to the World Wide Web, and other people see this fresh expression of an artist and they start consuming that content, that all of a sudden then there begins to be compensation for the content that they're producing and others are consuming. And then they begin to be dependent on that compensation that comes through their content. And then there's this vicious cycle in that the consumption of content begins to eat at your contentment. That statement has two different sides to it. On the first side, that consuming content eats at your contentment. It's a little bit of a double meaning because consuming is like eating food, and I think you get what I'm saying. But as you consume content and you see the lifestyles of the rich and the famous, you see all of the best pictures posted on Instagram of people's best life, and you compare that to your worst days or your mediocre performance or just your everyday slogging along, persevering production. And when you compare that to other people's highlights, consuming that content can very quickly begin to eat at your contentment with your level of excellence and your creative expression. One of the fastest ways to destroy your joy in life and your creative expression is to compare yourself to other people, rather than celebrating what people are doing and letting their expression of excellence inspire you to excel forward in the expression of your creative capacity. It's excellence. You start to compare yourself to them and look at the gear that you don't have, or the consistency in color grading and lighting that you don't have from like a week-to-week basis. I don't know anything about that. But rather than letting people inspire you, that consuming their content begins to eat at your contentment and your confidence and become intimidating rather than inspiring. So that's one side of that statement of consumption of content can eat at your contentment. Now, on the other side then is the element of putting your content out there, that as we create, that we're all content creators. It's not relegated to just people who post videos and put them on the internet or on YouTube. We're all content creators. We're creating content in thoughts. We're creating content in ideas. We're creating content in food that we make for our kids or for gifts that we give to friends. That we are each creative people with author ability that are producing things that other people are able to engage. So as a content creator though, here in this context of YouTube, that as you step out, you make the leap and you say, I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to do what fulfills me. And I begin to produce the content and I begin to put it out there on the World Wide Web. And now you are consuming the content that I made. As that consumption of my content happens, and I begin to look at how people are consuming, what they're consuming, how frequently they're consuming it, that the consumption of content can begin to eat at my contentment and my confidence as a content creator. As I've thought about Garrett's heartfelt answer, Peter couldn't have nailed it any better. What a heartfelt, sincere, authentic answer, man. That was just beautiful. As I've pressed into the extra insight of his experience and his expertise, and then thought about my journey, and now here forward to this video here in 2025, it's such a blessing to be sitting here in this space with an inability to modify and craft my content based on numbers and metrics. As I've pressed into that further and taken everything that I've learned about the algorithms and all of the promotion and the likes and the views and ad spend and all of that stuff, there's also this reciprocal relationship where all of the compensation through the consumption of content can then become this vicious cycle, in that there are motives for social media platforms that they're promoting things that people like and sending algorithms out and gathering these datas and metrics on people of what they like. If you like cat videos, I'm gonna send you more cat videos, so that when you get done watching your cat video, then there's 13 other cat videos below that video to watch, so that they keep you on their platform as long as possible, because that's in the best interest of the social media platforms. Now, I don't fault them. They're businesses. They're in it to win it in making money. I understand. But there's this biosphere, there's this ecosystem in content creation and consumption that, if not made aware, that has a high likelihood of eating into my contentment. So rather than being a content creator, I become a discontent creator. My encouragement to you is that as I think about these videos and go back to the beginning and say, what was my original purpose? That my vision has been from the beginning to seek to please my Father's heart through the exercise of my gifts, to impart grace to you so that you can know Him more. So in this place of you being a content creator, that we as humans were made in the image and likeness of God. And that when God created all of the world, he created the content of all things from the declaration of his powerful word, that he did it from a context of not needing anything. God doesn't live in temples built by human hands. He's not served by man as if he needed anything. And that as he created the content of all things, that overflowed the heart and the mind of a content creator, a sufficient being in need of nothing, and was only creating because he wanted to. His desire then was to reach out to us, to call us into being so that he could be with us and us with him, and that he could, out of the overflow of his sufficiency, give us everything that we need just because he wants to. I think the very best context for content is those expressions that overflow a heart that seeks to better the person that's consuming what they produced. That out of the overflow of my heart is to let my light so shine that you could see my good deeds but glorify my Father in heaven. That the fullness of everything that I have been given by my Father could be brokered towards you to help you have more content in life. They say that we are what we eat. And so my prayer, my heart's desire for you is that as you consume my content, that you will become more content. If you subscribe to what I'm doing, then hit the button, hit it and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content, with the new content. And if you loved this video along with me, you didn't just like it, hit the thumbs down button. I pray blessings on our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video, which starts now. One thing that I always love doing with Peter's videos is when I get the notification, I hit that notification as fast as possible and try to watch his video when it's 0 views. Every time I nail the 0 views, I always screenshot the video and save the picture. I feel like I've won the lottery. It's so fresh. Getting to be able to see an expression that he produces at 0 views. You guys, you're not gonna ever see any of my videos at 0 views because I love my videos. I watched them over and over before I post them here for you. I love my videos. I'm very content in my content creation. What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. And today, Bowden, my son, is my extra, and I am the ordinary.